as she jumps up. Beth has been doing MTS this year, which is a full-time 2-year ministry training experience where she's on staff getting to do a whole bunch of ministries, and it's been so awesome having her on the team, not least because she always reminds me to eat lunch. I tend to forget to eat lunch, but anyway. But hey, Beth, tell us about how's this year been? What does MTS look like? What does a normal week look like? What are the kinds of ministries you're able to be involved in?
Yeah, so I'm doing lots of different things, which is really fun. I get to meet up with several women during the week to read the Bible one-to-one, and I'm very involved with the youth ministry, so we meet on every Sunday morning, and earlier in the year we were just meeting on Friday nights twice or 3 times a term, but this term we've moved to fortnightly Friday nights, hopefully weekly one day, but that's been really exciting. And I'm also helping with mission events like Alpha and Life and Christianity Explored. We've got a bunch of those coming up, which is super exciting. And just recently I was able to go away with Ben to lead on a study camp, a Year 12 study camp, which is where a bunch of Year 12s basically pay to be forced to study for 6 hours a day. And they also are away with a bunch of Christian leaders, and they sit down and have a Christian talk every night and meet in discussion groups and get to just like ask their questions. So that was really cool.
Tell us a bit more about this, because you had the study camp reunion 2 weeks ago.
We did.
We all noticed that. So
Yeah.
what happened?
You would have noticed you came into church and it was like really packed, and there were a lot of 18-year-olds. Yeah. So we had a third of campers come to Vine Church a week after study camp, which is 25 kids, a lot of whom were not Christians. And I mean, I just think it was an amazing leadership team who just got around them and wanted to bring them along to church. So they got to hear Steve's awesome talk on faith alone. And I just wanted to tell a story about one girl in particular who was in my discussion group, and she was really, really cool. And I was like, oh, I'm nervous about her. She's so cool. And she came on camp being like, oh yeah, my parents' really strict church is the reason I will never, ever become a Christian. And then, and she was pretty quiet in discussion groups, but at the end we went, okay, what's one thing you're taking away this week? And she said, well, I'm not a Christian, but now I know that if I was to become a Christian, God would accept me. And I didn't know that before. I was like, oh, wow. Anyway, then she showed up to church. I was like, okay, you're here. And I had a chat with her over dinner after church, and she said, yeah, I think I'm actually going to check out the church that my chaplain has been recommending to me, my school chaplain. And I was like, that's very different to how you were when you came on camp. And she said, well, yeah, I just realized I'm saying I don't believe in God, and all my friends say we don't believe in God, but none of us really have a reason for not believing in God. And so I feel like I can't say I don't believe in him if I haven't worked out why. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool.
That is isn't that a great story, hearing about that? Yeah, let's get some. And it was great to see them all here. Great to see you welcoming them to church. Felt like a great night for them. What have been some of the other joys of the ministry this year you've been doing?
I chatted to her about this before, so she's cool with it. But Eilish has been coming to our church for a little while, and I got to do Alpha alongside her last term, and Eilish became a Christian after that, which was so cool. And now we're meeting on Sunday to read the Bible together, and so yeah, that's just been like such a huge highlight. I've also been meeting with a single mum at 9:15, and she had a Catholic background and just really viewed Jesus as this very distant, unreachable thing. And I've just watched her get so excited about like, wow, so Jesus is like, he's really smart. He's really clever. Oh my goodness, like, he's funny as well. So she's just been getting to know Jesus as we've read the Bible together, which has been really, really exciing. Yeah.
So good. And you meet with my eldest daughter and read the Bible with her. So what a bonus for her.
And me. We get Yochi, so.
So good. Beth is such a Beth has this amazing superpower with people. She's like this magnet for people, and every week she tells a story at staff team. Like earlier this year, she was at Maroubra Beach on a Sunday morning, just a little bit of Beth time, sits down, Maroubra Beach, reading the Bible, and a lady comes up to her and says, "Hey, what are you reading? Can I sit down with you?" And Beth invites her along to church. She comes, and I mean, Beth has such a superpower in just being people focused, and so wonderful having you in on the team, Beth. But it's not easy. Training in ministry. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of how's your heart been in doing MTS? What have been the challenges for you?
Yeah, I think it's felt like a bit of a roller coaster, but I think ultimately it's all just come back to one big challenge.
Yeah.
Even before I decided to do MTS, it was this one thing, which was, am I okay with what I'm giving up to do this? So doing MTS, there is like a financial and a lifestyle sacrifice that you make. And I've been really wrestling with that. And in the most recent bout of wrestling, which was a couple of weeks ago, it came after Ben and we'd sat down, we looked at our budget. Ben's at Bible college. And we'd gone, I think if I keep doing MTS, we probably won't be able to afford to go overseas for a holiday before Ben finishes college. And that might sound like a bit privileged and superficial, but it was just something I thought we'd be able to do as like a young married couple. I'd really expected to be able to travel overseas together at least once more, and that was like, am I really willing to give up that dream to do 18 more months of full-time ministry and equipping myself for a lifetime of full-time ministry? And I think the way that God helped me to understand and to come around to, yes, I'm going to commit, was two things. The first thing was, if I really want to travel this badly and I'm so desperate to see the world, that I would potentially give up ministry, I mustn't really believe that heaven is going to be better. Like, I mustn't really believe that the new creation is going to be better than this one, because, and I'll have eternity to enjoy it. I don't need to tick things off the bucket list quickly before I die, because I'm going to have eternity to enjoy a better creation than this one. That was the first big thing. And then the second big thing was, actually, I'm going to have an eternity to do a lot of things. The one thing I'm not going to have an eternity to do is tell people about Jesus. So the one thing I'm going to run out of time for is sharing the gospel and seeing people saved, because by the time we get to heaven, it will be too late. And so if that's the only thing I have a time limit on, that should take the priority of my time that I have now.
What a challenge and encouragement to all of us, because we all are called to be generous with our money in a way which would impact our lifestyles, and we're also called to urgently proclaim Jesus in different ways. But what an encouragement from Beth, just how she's putting God first there. Hey, we're going to pray for you. What can we pray for you specifically?
Like I said, this challenge has kept coming up, and I doubt it's over. I think it will come up again. So you can just pray that God would keep growing me in resilience to stand firm when those waves come. I think you can pray for me and Ben in our marriage, that we just keep growing in love for God and for one another. And pray the youth ministry. It's going really well. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it so much. It was kind of the ministry. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll do it. But it's been really good, and I feel very invested in it now. And so you can pray for 2 awesome male youth leaders to be raised up for next year, because we just need some more leaders, which would be amazing. And there was one other thing which I've forgotten, but it's probably up there. Cool. Oh, just all the other stuff. Yeah.
Cool. We're going to pray now.